To start out with, though, Bay Buchanan's on the line with us. Bay is as a commentator for CNN. She's president of the nonprofit conservative foundation, The American Cause, and chairperson of the Immigration Control Political Action Committee, Team America. TheAmericanCause.org is the website. Bloomberg.com is reporting almost 1 in 6 people in the U.S. workforce in 2007 was foreign-born, the highest portion in 80 years. It was 5.2% in 1970. Then Ronald Reagan came along, and now it is 1 out of every 6 Americans. Bay Buchanan, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Tom. Good to be with you.
Thank you. You are, if I get this right, and this is one of those interesting areas where Tom Tancredo and I over the years have had a lot of conversations, and I've taken what was the progressive position in the 1880s through the 1930s that every nation in the world should control immigration in a way that meets whatever their goals with regard to compassion may be, things like the refugees, but basically should control immigration in a way to keep a middle class workforce functional. And that when, for example, in the 1880s, when the railroads tried to bust the nascent unions in the railroads, they imported Chinese labor, and which led to some pretty racist legislation. But nonetheless, the progressive position has always been, like when Cesar Chavez and Bobby Kennedy marched down to the Mexican border to protest illegal immigration from Mexico, breaking up the United Farm Workers Union, has been to control immigration. And my position has been put the employers in jail. Go after the rich white guys, and it'll stop tomorrow morning. And Tom Tancredo has finally come around to that conclusion, too, after all these years. But you're taking it a whole step further. Explain to us your thinking on this.
Well, that period of time that you just addressed, the late 1800s, 1900s, earlier 1900s, we did another thing as well. Our immigration policy was controlled, and we did what's in the interest of the United States. And so at times when you have, you're looking at a depression, you're looking at a high unemployment, you close the doors. Yeah,
we did that in the 1930s, didn't we, early 1930s?
Exactly. So there's different times. And other times when things are just booming here and we need those kinds of workers, as you say, we bring in the workers that we need, and you bring them on in. I would agree with you entirely. If we need nurses in this country and we're not producing the kind of nurses we need in the numbers we need, we shouldn't give them a work permit. We should give them citizenship. Let's bring part of the illegal immigration, bring them on in, give them the work permits. 12
Well, how about if we need nurses in this country, we build more nursing schools?
Well, I think in the interim, you bring them, you make them part of your immigration policy. And then you say to your nursing schools, look, we're bringing in them from Africa and other places for the next 3 years, but get your act together because these are terrific jobs for Americans. And kind of move your people in that direction and encourage that through your policies, whether it be tax policies or whatever. So I'm all in favor of that. Our immigration should be a very specific policy that's done in the best interest of this country. And right now, we have enormously high unemployment, especially amongst those who are least able to move from one area to another. Those who are least that don't have the education or the tools.
Among the poor and the uneducated in this country.
The poor and uneducated. And what are we doing? We're bringing more and more in to compete with them for jobs. I read the number this morning. It's nearly 35% of black men between the ages of 16 and 24 are unemployed. 35%. What are we doing? And we're bringing people in who are competing with those fellas.
Right.
Now, I think when America is looking at 25 million unemployed or underemployed, as the number is today, we have to stop bringing in foreign workers.
But see the black unemployment in the United States, the biggest, to put it in the context of immigration, the biggest challenge there is illegal immigration, not legal immigration. You're suggesting we should stop legal immigration, which is the people who are coming in competing with the software engineers. Basically. Yes. I can't tell you how many unemployed software engineers have called this program and said, I'd be willing to work. I used to have a $100,000 a year job. I'd be willing to work for $50,000 a year. But they're bringing people in from India who are working for $30,000 a year, and they're able to send money home.
I agree with you. What we're talking about today is you have to 125,000 foreign workers brought into this country, given work permits every month, and it's been going on for the last several years. We're talking, what is that, 1.5 million a year to compete with hard-working Americans who used to be able to take care of their families and their children, now unemployed, and we're bringing foreign workers in to compete with them today. There's something wrong with
Bay Buchanan, I never thought I would be agreeing with you, and but here we are. TheAmericanCause.org is her website. Bay, I think though that for both of us that maybe we're nibbling around the edges of a much larger problem. I'm looking around me right now. I'm sitting in a radio studio. I'm not sure where you are, but I'm seeing computers. I'm seeing a microphone. I'm seeing a camera. I'm seeing an electronic board, a mixer board. All of these things were not made in the United States. None of them.
Exactly. We've lost our manufacturing.
That's right. The only thing I see in this entire room that might have been made in the United States is the tabletop, which is made out of wood. And it might have been imported. Who knows? So I am, frankly, I think that, our immigration policy is a problem. But we've lost 7 million manufacturing jobs just in the last 24 months in the United States. Yep. And we've got, on the conservative side, you've got Carly Fiorina is going to be taking on Barbara Boxer for the U.S. Senate in California, and her main claim to fame is that as the CEO of Hewlett-Packard, she laid off 18,000 American workers, shipped those jobs to China, where over 20,000 people got employed, but at a much lower wage, saved HP a lot of money. She made a whole pile of money. I mean, that's a huge crisis. The fact that we have no national industrial policy, and that Bill Clinton in particular blew up a tariff-based trade policy that served this country for 200 years. Shouldn't we be looking there before we start looking at immigration?
I'll tell you why the immigration issue is, to me, not necessarily a higher priority, but an equally high priority. It's because it can be done tomorrow. I agree. We've got to.
We could walk out of NAFTA tomorrow. We could walk out of the WTO tomorrow.
Amen, but you and I both know that the Congress of the United States is not going to do that. But I am for you. Listen, you talk about California. How about Ohio? We got Rob Portman, of all people, running for the U.S. Senate, been endorsed by the Senatorial Committee. He is the one that helped negotiate the deals where, the trade deals, where foreign countries can bring into this country, open up a factory, and bring their own workers in.
Right.
Not even the factories here we don't even have a chance for those jobs.
Right.
So
we're giving them tax breaks.
And yeah, exactly. The whole thing. Listen, I think you have to address immigration. Right now, we have 8 million illegal immigrants holding American jobs. 8 million. Well, that seems to be a real quick answer right there for a lot of Americans to at least have something to move towards as they try to get themselves out of this mess that we're put them in. Then you hit the legal immigration and stop bringing in the competition to the higher ones. Then you look at manufacturing. You bring that stuff home.
Right.
Start policies.
It's not like we don't know how to do this. We have done this before in America.
And we can do it again. We are big enough. We can overcome.
There you go. Bay Buchanan, TheAmericanCause.org, her website. Thanks, Bay.
Thanks a lot. Good to be with you, Tom.
Thank you.